Hey team, happy Wednesday. It's Camille. I'm going to post the equipment in the bio, so we're just gonna get right into it. For today's signature circuit workout, we're focusing on power and strength for our contrast phase. So we're gonna do it like I did a couple weeks ago for this type of workout. At each station, you're gonna have your first 2 rounds as a power variation of an exercise, and then your second 2 rounds as a strength variation of that similar exercise. Okay, so for this first station, I'm gonna go through all your power ones first, because we'll go through that again twice for 30 seconds each, and then we'll shift over to strength for 45 seconds and then a final round of 60. So first here, station 1, you're gonna start with that squat jump. So feet a little bit wider than hip distance, tuck your hips down and explode on up. Your second exercise, if you have an ankle band, I would grab it. If you don't, that's fine. You're just gonna go through the same motion. I'm gonna use this to balance myself, or maybe the back of a chair, anything you have, because I wanna get explosive at the top and focus on that without worrying too much on my balance. So it's up to you. So from here, we're just gonna focus on one leg for 30 seconds. You're gonna come back into a little bit of a curtsy, and then you're gonna come up with an abduction. So down, the back knee just tracks behind the front heel. We're not twisting too much, we're keeping our hips square, and then you're gonna come up, it's hard, with an explosion. So down, up and explode, down, up and explode, and then we're just gonna switch sides for a second move, okay? Then for our final move, we're gonna take this off. You have your pot. Guys, especially if you have like maybe something like this, feel free to grab all the things you have. I just didn't want a list as long as God only knows. So grab your pot, grab a kettlebell, grab a filled bottle if you have that. And we have swings. I'm just gonna take it from one handle. So we're gonna be down here with our legs, hips down, bend at the knees, flat back. My pot is touching the bottom, about a foot in front of my toes. I'm gonna swing it in right here. So keeping the pot close to the tops of my thighs, using my hips to explode and come back down. So for our power modalities, we're not going too heavy, so don't worry if you're on the lighter side with your object. Then, so that's for 2 rounds, then going back to circles. So we're focusing on legs this station. We have, and now with our pot, I'm just gonna fill it with a bunch of stuff to make it heavier. And guys, by all means, if you have weights, grab those. So first we have a goblet squat. I'm just gonna hold the pot up close to my chest, feet same distance, and I'm gonna squat down, come right back up. Okay, nice and controlled, keeping the core in super tight. Then I have a slider curtsy. So this is strength. Whatever weights you guys have, I'll be using different ones during our workout maybe, but I'll just show you with these. So you're just gonna keep one foot on the glider, that back foot. Again, your knee is just gonna come track with the back of your heel. You're not coming all the way out. Keep your hips nice and square. You should just feel a slight lateral shift, and then come right back up. Down, right back up. So we have that on the other side for our third exercise. And then our final exercise, obviously, getting this bad boy back on. If you have it, again, if you don't, no big deal. You've got your surface or you're on the floor. And you're gonna come, feet are going to be planted as normal this time. Keep your chin tucked in. The bottom of your ribs are into your abdomen. You're gonna drop, drive, and explode. Drop, drive, sorry, not explode, and abduct. So drive those knees out wide, come back down. So feeling free to add a weight. And that is your first station. All right, team, our second station, more of an upper body focus. So starting with our power variations, you're gonna start At the bottom, you're going to come back on your forearms and kind of let your heels just drop out. So this is my starting position. I'm going to push up onto my hands and bring my heels in close, and then crab toe touch, opposite arm, opposite leg. Come back, so also we're keeping our core in super tight. In, up, back, in, up, back, in, up. So that's our first exercise. Our second is a tall kneeling push press. So we're gonna come tall kneeling on our mat, grabbing our light to moderate weights. So first thing, you're gonna dip a little bit in your hips, and then I want you to think about not pushing forward, but driving down to stand up, or to come to extension. So we're not pushing forward, driving down, squeezing our butt. So you're gonna come here, slight bend, and a push press from your knees down, right here. So using our hips a little bit every time. Then our third exercise, you're grabbing your pot. We got our explosive lateral push-ups just like we were doing on the deck. So you're gonna have one hand, actually, this will come in handy here. I'm definitely not doing this on my toes. So one hand on the pot, one hand on your mat. And this is actually gonna be great with your knees so you can slide. So down, you're gonna explode, hit the other side, up, and hit the other side. Now, if you don't wanna explode, you just take that out and you bring one hand over and across. Then our final exercise, we have our supine elbow pushes. So this is focusing on your back. The goal here is to mimic a row. So from here back, squeezing your shoulder blades together is what we're going for. So you're gonna start laying down on your mat. Relax your low body. From here, elbows are in tight by the sides, and then they're gonna drive into the floor. And then from here, all I want you to focus on is exploding up, bringing your elbows basically close together behind your back, and right back down. Up, squeeze, right back down. So again, it's just from here and then squeezing those shoulder blades together. Think about like you're trying to touch your elbows behind your back when you lift. So now, into our strength portion here. So our first exercise, you're going to use your towel, and we have a slow slider reach. So what we're gonna do, both hands on the towel. If you wanna make it longer, you can go ahead. It's totally up to you. So you're going to first bring your hips down, just like we're in a plank position. You're gonna tuck your shoulders down, squeeze your lat, and then from here, as slow as you can. So we're trying to get as few reps within those 45 seconds. You're gonna slide all the way out to the ground, bring it back in, push up, and then we start over. So right here, core, keeping everything tucked. Then, after that, we're just gonna go straight into now our tall kneeling shoulder press. So maybe you have something heavier. If not, I'll give you some alternatives during class for sure. But so shoulder press, elbows slightly in. We're right here. Or bring your elbows forward into a more neutral grip. If you want to hit shoulders, but you simply don't have anything heavy enough to make it strength, switch to a little bit more hypertrophy, give me some lateral raises. Just make sure you're being challenged with what you're doing. Like I've mentioned before, it's really hard to be super precise with the modalities if we're just working with home equipment. So do whatever you got. We tell you the muscle. We trust you guys. You've learned so much and you've been crushing it for so long with us. So we know you know how to modify. Then next one, we have a chest press. So I'm going to come down with my weights. During class, I'm gonna also grab a heavier pair, and from here, I'm just going to slide my shoulder blades underneath, abs in tight, and I'm gonna go down slowly. So we're gonna come down for a count of 3, and then up. You can also come into a bridge to allow more space for your arms to drop, and up. And then our final one, you're going to grab, again, either your pot, something heavy to row with. So we have an alternating gorilla row to stand. So you're gonna be right here. You're going to come down into your squat. Make sure you have your feet a little bit wider so you have space for your arm. You're going to keep your palm facing your body. You're gonna row, and then I want you to pull up to stand more with the back of your legs. Then you come back down. Switch, row, pull up, squeeze through the back, and we're just gonna keep switching right here. And that is our second station. Final station. All right, more of a core focus for our final round. Power versions. First one, we have our sit-throughs. So you're going to come into your bear crawl position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, toes tucked, and we lift an inch. This is your starting position. Now your sit-throughs, we'll go over this live, especially at 5:30. So you're right here, you're going to weave your opposite foot through parallel to your mat. I see a lot of this. Bring it out. Opposite hand lifts up. We're gonna drop our hip a little bit. Use our core back in, rotate through. So you really should feel it through your obliques, but you're gonna feel it in your quads and your inner thighs and everything, okay? The most important thing is we're keeping that short distance. If you start extending, this is awkward, right? If you're here, we can be really, really tight and in control. Then our next one, we're just going to switch it up, coming to our back, and you have your sprinter sit up right here, okay? Just meeting yourself up in the middle, relax the shoulders. You can start with your heels on the ground. Then after that, we have explosive pikes. So you're gonna grab your, whatever you slide on. If you have a carpet and you don't have paper plates, you can always just modify and take this slide out, or maybe put some socks on. You're right here. You're just going to explode up into your pike as much as you can, and then come back down. Make sure we don't exaggerate that come down, okay? We're ending in that strong plank. Up and explode, trying to stack the hips over the shoulders, and right back down into plank. And then our final one, I want you to use your core, guys. We have air slams. So just like we have our slam balls, instead of using your arms to throw or your legs to bring yourself down, focus on here. How can this drive all that power down to the floor? So you're just gonna be here, up, and slam it down. Tense your core, pick that ball back up, and slam it down. If you're maybe outside and can slam something, or you wanna just slam your towel to the floor, go ahead. All right, our final 4 exercises for strength right here. So we have an alternating reverse lunge to twist. If you have a bag you wanna fill with some weight to loop over this, whatever you want to make it more strength, go ahead. I'm just gonna use the broom. So you're right here. You're going to reverse lunge and twist towards your front leg to the outside of it as you come down. Broomstick is gonna be parallel to that front leg. Come back up, down and twist. Up, down and twist. This one's sneaky, especially if you add weight. So that's our first one. Then our second one, hello. Then our second exercise, I'm going to load this pot back up. We have an overhead roll up. So laying down right here, my pot's starting over my chest. I'm never gonna bring it back, okay? Because I don't wanna see any swings. So right here, going to slowly, controlled, peel off of my mat and overhead, and then round it back down. That's it. Right here, up and back down. Then we have a low plank army crawl. So this is just gonna be very, very slow. You can either choose to have your feet on the glider or not. So that means all you're gonna do is right here. So without letting your hips rotate too much, you're just going to crawl up, crawl back. If you don't have anything to slide on, you're just going to make sure you move your opposite arm and leg at the same time. So here, here, here. Then our final move, we're just going to flip it over. We've got a toe touch to a leg lower. So I want you guys again to go slow. I don't want to see this and this. It's not about that. Take it slow. Control. Lifting your shoulder blades up to reach your toes. Hands under your tailbone if you need, or out wide. As long as your low back stays down, you're going to lower your legs. Come back up. Pause. Reset yourself. Lift. Down. Up. And reach. Okay, so trying to just maintain that tension in your core the whole time. And that's it for today. If you haven't noticed, grab every single thing you have. And I will be going live at 5:30 tonight. Happy Wednesday, fam. I will see you soon. Mwah.